so much, Mr. President. I appreciate that. And good afternoon to all of you. I'm so honored to be here, and it was amazing to listen to you. Most of you may not know me, and some of you probably think, is she old enough to do this job? And I assure you, I am. So just with a quick little introduction, I actually grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and my dad was an insurance salesman. And so, that's how he raised me. He was a part of the $1 Million Round Table. And so he sold life insurance and annuities and things like that. So when you talked about having the time with your children and all of that, I felt you. And so I hope that y'all really got the information that she was trying to give you, as well as basically the general premise of this is how we create generational wealth. It's not just with property. There's a lot of people in the tax code gets a little better when you get your money through this way as well. And the only reason I know a little something about the tax code because I'm not personally writing it at this moment. I don't sit on that committee. But before I went to Congress, I served as the state representative for this area. And before that, I was allowed to practice law. So I practiced law for approximately 17 years. And I'm old enough. But it was my frustration with practicing law that really led me to decide that I wanted to write the laws. And so I started by trying to write laws in the state of Texas, as we have a lot of bad laws. And then Eddie Bernice called me and said that I should take her place in D.C., and so that's what I'm doing. When I tell you it is a tough job, I don't know how else to communicate how difficult it is right now in the climate. But I appreciate the work that y'all are doing, not only in this community, but for yourselves. Because my job is to basically play backup. A lot of times people look at the congressional members and they think, oh, that's the high person, we the low person. We are your servants. We serve you, the public. But honestly, I spent the majority of my time in D.C. at this point. And so the only way that I know what's going on here and what's needed is so long as we keep those lines of communication open. And so that's why it was important for me to come in, see what you're doing, have a conversation with your president about what it is that you want to do so that I can support you. That is the one thing. That's the only thing that I want y'all to get from anything that I say, is that I serve at the pleasure of the people. You hire and you fire. And it is important that you hold every single elected official accountable to you. You talk about this community and about the blight. We in D.C., we're not the ones meeting people where they are every day. But I am the one that can go and find the money that is necessary to make sure that you can do what you want to do to better this community. And speaking of money, we know what happens in the Black community. We know that the Black communities have always been starved of resources, while other communities aren't even asking for resources and they're just given the resources. So I've made it my point to make sure that anything that I could do to start righting the wrongs and the neglect that has existed in this community, that I do my part. And so right across the street, you have St. Philip's. And I applaud all that St. Philip's has had going on because they recognized it wasn't good enough just to have a school. They needed to do more. They needed to invest in the community. And so probably about a month ago, we did a little over $800,000 grant over to St. Philip's. And this money is really about the community. It's not just about the school. St. Philip's was the one that asked for it. But we know that environmental injustice is real. We know that the air, the soil, and the water has typically been polluted when it comes to our communities. And so what we are doing is we are investing in making sure that we can assess how bad the soil, the air, and the water is so that we can then make the investments to clean that up. Because we want this to be an area that people want to live in. But even if they don't want to live here, they deserve to live in an environment that will not harm them. And so these are the fights that I'm waging. And I'm continuously making sure I make the investments. The only thing that I ask of you is to be partners. it's not a me thing. It's not a you thing. It's a us thing. And so tell me, seriously, feel free to always make sure you tell me what you need. Because it is my job to do everything that I can to fight for what it is that will make your lives better. And so I appreciate you. I thank you. I'm always here for you. My name is Jasmine like the princess and Crockett like Davy. God bless you.